I know, I'm sure you've been on social media lately. AI slop is everywhere, and it's not getting better. It's visually
Yeah.
better, but it is still garbage. It is brain rot garbage,
Well,
and I hate it,
here's the
Maury.
thing.
Hate
Here's the
it.
thing. Here's the thing. Is it actually garbage? That's like my
Yes.
genuine question because
Yes.
we were just talking about, though, in the intro of the video that it's getting harder to distinguish between what is AI and what is not AI. And originally, that term AI
Visually,
slop
yes.
was because it was evident that this content was filled with flaws. And the better it gets, and the harder it is to distinguish between reality and AI, the less that term I actually think holds any weight. Because if you can't tell between something that was legitimately filmed with a cast and crew of people and something that was made with AI, and the two could seemingly blend together, then it's not slop anymore. Now it's deceptive cinema.
No, it's still slop, and I'll tell you why. It's getting better visually, and it is harder to distinguish real from AI now. But the thing that AI can't do is accidentally create something beautiful, right? It can look at what's trending, it can look at what people are searching for or interested in, and it can make a guess at to what's going to be successful. But humans can be doing something completely unrelated and spawn an idea of how to translate that into art. So you could be watching a commercial about
Sure.
building a house and you think, well, you know what? An allegory of building a house could be a really interesting way to frame a narrative about personal growth. And it can trigger a new idea in a way that would never happen. It's just an accidental creation of artistic expression. And AI can't do that because it's only
Yeah.
looking at what trends are. I don't know that it's ever going to be able to do that because it has to take pre-formulated paths. It can get better at predictions and hit on certain things sometimes, but it can't just do it out of some kind of serendipitous
Well,
event.
I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat back on and say that it will absolutely be a future that we know, that we will see. Maybe not in our lifetime, but it is a future that I think is possible because that's the Skynet doomsday alarm bell. And
Mhm.
listen, I've heard a lot of these tech bros talk about the limitations of AI, and some of
First of
them
all, I just want
say
to say spot on impression. Well done.
uh,
Great impression.
some of
Tech
them
bros. Yeah. Okay.
some of them are saying that there are limitations on the tech that will keep AI from achieving Skynet consciousness. But there are others that just straight up come out and say, yeah, I mean, like, AI is going to be the end of the world, but let's enjoy it while we can. Like,
Do
it's
you
just
know,
so, there are such wildly differing perspectives on what AI can achieve.
here's here's a legitimate threat. And this goes back to the slop thing. Do you know that right now there is a company, I can't remember the name, it is four people, it employs four people. Four people that work at this company, and they have created an
Like,
AI.
four,
Four.
like, four,
Four people.
one, two, three, four.
Yes, four individual people that work for this company that have created an AI to produce podcasts, just like what you and I are doing. Audio
Okay.
only, I think, for now, but they have podcasts. The AI creates hosts, they create the whole show, they produce it, and it is producing 3,000 episodes a week currently.
It's a
3,000
lot.
episodes a week. Four people producing 3,000 episodes a week. There is
Hmm.
no way to physically listen to all of those to see what content is going out. They're just throwing it out there. And it's produced
Hmm.
so cheaply, it's cost them about like 1 to 2 cents. Well, let's say it costs $1 per episode, which I think that's even higher than what they quoted. But let's say it's $1 per episode. They already know how to produce those in mass production and tackle or tie ads to it. So every single one is bringing in some sort of revenue. No matter even if only 50 people watch it, there's no incentive to make quality behind that because it is all quantity based. The more they produce, even if you only get a couple of people, you get two people that listen to it, you've already made your money back. So the more they create, the more money they make. And where it becomes a
Yeah.
problem, and this is regardless of whether it's video or audio, when you flood the market with this nonsensical garbage, you don't find it becomes a larger and larger percentage of what's out there, and your chances of finding real human-made content becomes
Mhm.
less and less. You think about the internet right now, and we go to Google and anything we search for, we get all those pages. How often do you go to page 2? Never, right? You click something on the
Well,
first page of the search result.
depends. Depends.
Very rarely, if ever. Nobody's going to pages 3, 4, 5. Never. And that's just what's on the Google search. We see a fraction of the internet every day. The internet is so much bigger than anything any of us have ever seen, and it keeps growing. So we keep finding this like little piece of it. And as AI slop keeps making the pool bigger and bigger with just its garbage, it's getting harder and harder to find anything but its garbage. So it's going to push out anything of quality. And we're just going to be stuck watching the nonsensical 6, 7 brain rot garbage that happens with everything all the time.
There's I mean, like, I don't disagree with you, but this is I think this is why my stance is that it's not AI slop anymore, because
It absolutely
if
is.
well, I mean, you'd have to make an actual case as to what makes it slop, because the perspective that I'm coming from is that
No
it
pursuit of
was
quality.
very
That is the case. It's a quantity driven product. There is no pursuit of quality, and it is
I
pushing
mean,
quality out.
what
That
do you
is
mean by
absolutely
quality?
slop.
What do you mean by quality,
Quality,
though? Because movies like
intention,
Jackass exist.
and I don't. I mean,
I find it
it's
very,
not my
and you're
cup of
right.
tea.
And you're right. 6-7 is something that exists. There's human-made brain rot. So like what do you mean
Sure,
by quality? R- AI slop in the past has been a term to indicate that something is very obviously made by AI. There are issues with it in terms of like how many fingers are on a person's hand, or this person very clearly does this weird warped backflip because it's not a
it's.
real person, and weird contortions, and that's not the case anymore. So it's not slop anymore. It's
I
harder to
think you are.
distinguish that it's made by a machine.
I think you're focusing on the visual of it more than the actual content of it, because I consider slop anything that is just garbage as far as is there value to it as somebody who's taking it
What do you
in.
mean by
So if you're going to
value,
listen
though?
to value as in like there's benefit to it. So if you're just watching nonsensical trash for a while, you maybe you can say, sure, I get a moment of laughter out of watching the slop. Okay.
That's value.
There's you can if you're going to say there's value to that, sure, there's value to that. Is that the same as the value as the hour-long video essay on YouTube where somebody has done the research, given a viewpoint on something, has based up with facts, given you something to think about, and you walk away with more information. You can say there's value to both if you really want to stretch the idea of what value is, but you cannot argue that some has more value than the other because
You
the
absolutely
slop is
can.
just you can't because there's
You
nobody
absolutely
that's
can.
quality checking this stuff. If you're producing 3,000 episodes a week and you're just letting it rip, you have no idea what's in there. It doesn't even have to be
Y-
factual or any it could be total it could be an hour of nonsense made up. Where's the value
Yeah.
in that?